Senator Manchin.
Congressman, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congressman, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Senator Manchin.
And also, congratulations on your nomination, and to your family, I'm sure extremely proud of you, and they should be. With that being said, you know, we live in a troubled world today, as we all know, and I think I just want to hear your thoughts on your experiences within the military and also your experience as a congressperson and the positions you've had in Congress. On what do you consider the greatest threat the United States of America faces today, and what person brings the greatest threat to our country that wants to do us harm?
So it's always hard to rack and stack, especially in times of turmoil around the world that we find today. But let me give it a throw. So I begin with the threat from terrorism as it extends into the homeland. If you ask what was the most immediate threat, I think it's certainly that. That is, it presents the most immediate threat to the personal risk to a person living in South Central Kansas. And so we need to be
A country associated with that?
oh boy, there are too many to name, but let's start with the activity that's taking place today in Syria and Iraq, and the threat that terrorists pose, both Sunni and Shia terrorists opposed to the United States. So ISIS and Al Qaeda would be the primary organizations today, but it extends far beyond that. We've also seen challenges from radical Islamic terrorism in Southeast Asia.
Do you believe terrorism is the highest threat that we face? I mean, I'm just saying in the position you have right now, the unclassified position you have right now in your experience.
In the near-term threat to life and limb of Americans, yes. I'd put North Korea, China, and Russia right up there alongside them.
Which one has the weapons to do us harm?
Oh, goodness. So the nuclear powers are the ones that have the biggest threat to do catastrophic harm to the United States.
And which person in the world do you, in your estimation, has the desire to do us the most harm?
Boy, to ask me for a singular individual is really a tough question, Senator Manchin. The list is long.
There's a lot of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. West Virginians are asking me continually, can we trust the intel community? And they go back, they keep referring back, because through the political, they listen to a lot of the political campaign rhetoric. You know, we had weapons of mass destruction. We declared war in Iraq. We found out that maybe we could have taken a different course or altered that course. So they have concerns about that. And I would just like to ask, do you have confidence in the intel community, the CIA in particular, where you're going into?
I do. Look, I'd never stand here today to tell you that the agency has had perfection throughout history, nor that it'll have perfection if I'm confirmed on my watch. But I have great confidence in the men and women that work out there. They are, you know them, right? They are patriots, they're warriors, they're real people who have dedicated their life to keeping America safe. And I have the utmost confidence that if I'm confirmed, I will get an opportunity to lead a set of great Americans that aren't politicized.
Right now, I think you'd have to agree that the morale is fairly low, and they're being hit by many different angles and different sides through the political process that we go through, which can be very, very damaging, if you will. What's your first point of order, and what's your first steps that you intend to take, if confirmed, to lift that morale up and let them know that we're all on the same side?
Senator, I might just respectively dissent from the predicate of your question a bit. I've had a chance over the last few weeks to spend a little bit of time with a handful of people out there. I haven't seen the low morale that you described. Look, they're human beings. They're Americans too. They watch the political process. But what I've seen from the spirited warriors out of the Central Intelligence Agency is a desire to sort of get out of the middle of this fight and continue to perform their function, right? To do their work in a way that they know how to do. And they are, I don't mean to denigrate the leadership at the Central Intelligence Agency at all today. Director Brennan has performed amazing service to America for an awfully long time. But many of them have served under multiple presidents as well, and they know that times change and leaders change. And I think they're very much looking forward to the new administration, if confirmed me as the director of the CIA, to help them continue to perform their function in a way that they can continue to serve America.
I definitely wish you well on that, and of the optimistic outview you have. And my final question would be, your thoughts on sanctions. What would be your thoughts on sanctions? Because we're looking at sanctions. Are we looking at it state by state, country by country, or should we have a blanket, basically, piece of legislation here that says that any country that has been state-sponsored cyber attacks on the United States of America, should we not have basically sanctions in place to address all of them the same, or should it be country by country deciding on what sanctions that we think will be more detrimental? But I'm just saying that if it's been, the intel community confirms that it's state-sponsored sanctions, shouldn't we know exactly what they're going to be facing if we confirm that?
Well, Senator, you've actually given my first opportunity to step out of the political world today and tell you, look, that decision, that policy, I think will be left to others. I do have a record with respect to sanctions. Right. I have voted for legislation authorizing sanctions on a number of countries during my time as a member of the United States House of
Were they
Representatives.
evaluated country by country, or do you?
Yeah, my recollection is, Senator, they were nation-by-nation sanctions that we were evaluating.
So basically, whatever relationship we have with that nation, it could be a little bit easier on one, tougher on the other. But don't you think us as policymakers should have sanctions that say, listen, if you do this to us and it's confirmed and it's state-sponsored by you, whether it be financially, whether it be economically, whatever it might be, these sanctions will go into effect immediately?
Senator, I'm going to defer on the policy question today. I'll make sure you have all the information you need to form good judgments about that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Senator Manchin. Thank you, sir.
Senator Cotton.